Adventure games are a genre I love because of the journey you go through that is your own. Far Lone Sails is a linear adventure game rather than an open-ended one, which is admittedly risky in today's market of go anywhere, do anything games, but I decided to give it a shot because of its beautiful world and my hope that it would be another well-crafted, short and sweet game. The game opens up with your little red character seemingly at someone's gravesite. You don't have any background or context as to why you're doing anything, so you just start your journey with your ship. I enjoyed the mystery of the game as you're left to piece together the open-ended story with the environmental clues you see in the background as you progress through the world. The ship you operate is at the center of the gameplay. There's various buttons and tools that each serve a different function. Operating the ship requires a balancing act and managing which button or tool to use when. There's no tutorials either, which makes you feel really connected with your ship as you get to figure out how to use it best. The primary goal is to maintain speed efficiently by making sure the gas is pressed at all times. That's obviously easier said than done since you're juggling so many other things. Your engine will overheat if you don't hit the steam valve, which also serves as a speed boost that can be built up over time. Lastly, there's your sails, which you unlock early on that you can put up to get a speed boost from the wind. Those are your ship operations that relate to movement, but you also have more situational tools like a brake button, 2 pulleys on the front and back that connect to certain hook points, a vacuum to suck up objects for fuel, and a tow cable to pull your ship or objects. The other part of the gameplay has you come across environmental puzzles where you have to get out of your ship to find a way past the blockade. The puzzles aren't particularly challenging, but are thought-provoking and varied enough to be enjoyable. They mainly consist of finding a way to get fuel to these generators by solving some sort of puzzle, which opens up a way forward. I especially enjoyed the puzzles that require your ship's abilities to solve, as it adds another layer to the puzzle solving. You're usually rewarded with a new ship part for completing these sections, so even though the puzzles aren't hard, the reward for completing them was always worth it. The new upgrades each serve a new purpose, but also add to the balancing act. This prevents you from getting too comfortable with your ship and ensures the game flows at a steady pace. All of the UI is diegetic, showing how much fuel you have left as well as the health of each part of your ship with these meters. If a part of your ship takes too much damage, it can catch on fire or have an electrical problem, which you have to put out with the hose or welder respectively, each of which consume fuel. You end up building a symbiotic relationship with your ship as you're mostly worthless without your ship and your ship is completely worthless without you. It's your only companion in the world as there's almost no life in this now desolate landscape. The world feels too vast and empty without it, especially due to the desaturated monochromatic color scheme. There's no enemies in the game and I never died, but there are situations where you can die because of environmental hazards. Most of the time you'll be in your ship progressing on your journey with set-piece moments thrown in as a new challenge you have to overcome. The sound design for your ship along with the world is so detailed with its feedback. You always know how your ship is operating because there are specific sound cues for each component. The large weather events sound powerful, which heightens the tension, ensuring you know you're in danger. The soundtrack of the game is some of the best I've experienced at evoking emotion for a particular moment. Whether it's a whimsical journey or haunting isolation, the soundtrack always enhances what you're doing. Far Lone Sails completely surprised me with its open-ended environmental story tied together with its thoughtful gameplay. It's perfectly paced from start to finish and is one of the most beautiful games I've played. Even though it's less than 5 hours, I'm sure the melancholic feeling I left with will stay for weeks to come. Much of what you come across is old and broken down, but still has a use that you come to appreciate. Like, yeah, your ship is slow and old, but I wouldn't replace it for anything because I grew with it over time on a shared journey. I was actually worried I wouldn't like this game because the gameplay looked tedious and repetitive, but I got in a flow state of running around with my ship, pushing buttons and solving puzzles, all while piecing together the story of the past world. This is yet another game I can add to my list of short and sweet games that I love, and I can't wait for its sequel, Far Changing Tides, to come out next year. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future.